higher seeded number red uniforms. They got a pretty good contingent here in Chapel Hill as North Carolina wins the opening tip. Roundtree trying to find Mavunga. Nice job defensively to get into those passing lanes by Emily Frazier.
Great anticipation defensively by Frazier, not allowing the post entry pass.
We would expect Liberty to want to slow this game down, although they look like they're trying to get a shot here quick in the first 30 seconds.
They're looking like they're trying to figure out the man-to-man defense.
Count it, and the foul, and Liberty on the board first.
Well, paint points for Liberty. That will be very important for their success. We'll take a look at how she got there. It was a nice bump screen, curling on the elbow, and the swipe by Mavunga.
And that's big as well. Stephanie Mavunga, their leading rebounder, their number 2 scorer, picks up an early foul as Buer misses at the free throw line, because Liberty is a very big team. They need Mavunga to stay out of foul trouble.
Absolutely, especially without the services of Zelina McDaniel.
How about Latifah Coleman getting all the way down to the rim?
And that's what Latifah Coleman can do, and North Carolina, they need to get those paint points.
How about your keys to this game?
Well, Liberty, staunch defense. They're 13th in the country, holding opponents to 35%. And for Carolina, they have a high-octane offense. They average 76 points a game, 23rd in the country. So they want this to be a track meet.
Here's the probing offense of Liberty, and then Adams missing from the free throw line. North Carolina at large out of the ACC. Nice pass to Mavunga. Nice spin move to find some space.
When you're a post player, you have to have a quick snap on your pivot, especially against larger players inside. Liberty has 6'4" and 6'5" in there. Mavunga, footwork got her through.
Liberty 26-6 on the season. They went 19-1 in conference. 19 wins, the most wins in a Big South Conference season. Sedalia Ellis will step back and a block by Mavunga, and we'll have our first tied possession of the afternoon.
Second layer of defense by North Carolina is going to be pivotal. Okay, you get the flyby right here, but that's the second line of defense right there. Mavunga with the nice help and rotation for the block.
Mavunga's 79th block of the year. She had 90 last year. Shot clock down to 3. Offensive rebound, and there's the size of Liberty on the putback.
The second chance points right there. Those would be very valuable for Liberty as there's a foul called in the front court.
Sedalia Ellis picking up her first. Well, speaking of Liberty size, only 11 schools in the NCAA have at least 3 players that are 6'4" and up. You see Catherine Carney, she'll come off the bench at 6'6", their tallest player.
That gives them a tremendous advantage.
As India Bryant misses on her first attempt of the afternoon. Nice screen set by Adams. Frazier drops it off to Reininger, but has it snapped away.
Reininger couldn't get that shot up quickly enough.
Gray launching for 3. Tied possession. This one will stay with North Carolina.
You see the battle on the boards. That's going to be another area to watch today for these two teams. Liberty, they are 10th in the country with a +10 rebounding margin.
Mavunga on the tap back, and now a miscommunication turnover as she was trying to get it right back to Gray.
Well, usually you see those plays, the inbounder getting the ball back, but you've got to allow your teammate to get in bounds first.
Well, the NCAA back to a format of old where the top 16 seeds all get to host. So if you're on the 1, 2, 3, or 4 line, you have home games, although we saw just down Tobacco Road at Duke that the Blue Devils certainly didn't blow out Albany. In fact, they were very fortunate to beat Albany. North Carolina's had their own struggles here in the first round over the last couple of years.
Right, and that Duke game against Albany, Duke had 27 turnovers in that game, and Albany scored 28 points off of those. So you must take care of the basketball, especially on your home court.
Here's Mavunga showing off some mid-range. And to bring it full circle, Albany was the team North Carolina faced 2 years ago. That was a stiff battle. It was a 5-point Tar Heel win. In fact, we were talking to Sylvia Hatchell yesterday, and when we were all watching that Albany-Duke game together, as we were speaking with her, she was not surprised the Great Danes played as well as they did.
Right, she knows that they're a team on the rise.
How about that? Right place, right time. Carly Buer, offensive board and putback. She's got 4.
Redshirt senior brings that experience to the table. Her leadership is invaluable.
Mavunga, she's taken a few mid-range shots. It's 3 here in the early going.
And she has the advantage inside. I know that Liberty has the size down there, but she can maneuver around. She's got great feet in there.
This is Buer. Missing the three, but the long rebound. Mavunga had it tapped away, and it goes to Liberty. That's the second unforced error here early against North Carolina, and their third overall.
A little frustration showing for North Carolina right now on that turnover. Roundtree was telling Mavunga, grab it with two hands. I mean, every single possession is important. You've got to value the basketball.
As you mentioned with Duke yesterday in their myriad of turnovers in a game they only won by 2 points. It's about 10 miles down the road at Cameron Indoor. Here's Sedalia Ellis. Missing from three. Mavunga clears. A 1-on-2. You know, we know about Liberty's size, but as you can see, they've been playing 3 guards. They've done that the last couple of weeks. They got 2 bigs, and here's Reiniger, one of them, missing. But they're also small out on the perimeter.
They're small on the perimeter, and that will help them match up against North Carolina's speed out there.
Inside to Gray for the score.
Well, that time they posted up Alicia Gray on the block. And she is so strong. Sylvia Hatchell was raving about how strong she is. She said that Alicia Gray may not be the strong or the quickest player out there, but she is definitely by far the strongest. So they look to post her up offensively.
Alicia Gray, first team All-CC sophomore. And now a ball that trickles out to Ellis. Boy, they've had clean looks from three, just not able to knock him in. On the other side, this is Coleman for a triple. And here comes a fast break, a little 2-on-2 for the Lady Flames. Frazier, a little stutter step move, scores again.
Beautiful freeze dribble there by Frazier to finish.
Coleman going all the way to the basket, and the blocking foul called against Liberty. We've had a good up and down.
Dykes, a tremendous job there at Arkansas. Joe McEwen got his team at Northwestern back to the tournament after an absence, but his team is definitely on the rise. But these 2-point games in the first round of the women's tournament, really good to see for the game.
Latifah Coleman splitting the 2 free throws. That rebound from 44 in red, Catherine Carney. She's a redshirt junior. Not only are they big, Carney is 6'6", they also have a lot of experience. Here's a drive and a foul as Latifah Coleman went for the block and picks up her first personal foul.
Let's take a look at the foul here. The drive is coming. They are really attacking the rim. Carolina needs to do a better job of beating players to the spot and getting in good defensive stance so they can contest it.
Carly Buer hitting the first of 2. You know, just talking about how experienced Liberty is. They may not have NCAA experience because this is Buer's NCAA debut. She's a redshirt senior. They've got Jasmine Gardner off the bench, who used to be a starter as a redshirt senior. They've got 3 redshirt juniors. This is a very tested team.
Absolutely. They went to the Sweet 16 back in 2005, but this team, 7 players have NCAA experience, but only in a total of 10 minutes for all 7 of those players for Liberty.
It's Liberty defensively here. The battle in the post. Hillary Summers is on the floor, number 30 in white, guarded by Carney. Shot clock's at 4, and Summers hits right off the bench and scores.
Well, Summers has such a feathery touch from the elbow area. She can stick it from the short corner as well. She's not going to outpower you on the block, but she can face up and stick shots like that.
The Hillarys here in Chapel Hill, Summers and Fuller, probably going to be called on today. And there's a near steal by Jessica Washington. That's 2 6'2" players to help combat the size of Liberty.
You know, without the services of Zelina McDaniel for North Carolina, that's really going to be an advantage for Liberty in terms of their size. And Coach Hatchell told us yesterday, as a timeout is called, Coach Hatchell told us yesterday that McDaniel was their defensive stopper in
a run up and down the floor here in Chapel Hill.
That is going to be a track meet. Both teams want to get up and down. It's going to be fun to see.
Liberty is taking care of the ball early, yet to turn it over, and they draw a foul on the low block as Catherine Carney will get to the free throw line.
Again, Liberty really challenging the defense of North Carolina inside. Again, you draw the defense. Summers had to come over and take that. but then Roundtree was late on the rotation. That player should already be inside at the basket level, so there's no chance for a pass. She's coming from behind. That's why Roundtree got that foul.
And also good news for Kerry Green's Lady Flames. His bigs also shoot a pretty good free throw clip. Carney is a 74% free thrower. You see her there, the 6'6" redshirt junior from New Jersey. Ashley Reiniger shoots at 81%. So if you put them on the line, they're usually pretty good. In fact, Liberty is in the top 25 in free throw shooting as a team, 75% coming into the tournament. And we see North Carolina struggling after the 2 for 2, but hitting from the outside, Alicia Gray.
It's a little soft 1-2-2 pressure there, right around half court. But literally, they just need to get back and get matched up right away. Carolina sticking with their man-to-man defense.
Amy Fisher-Davis, number 10 in red, had it momentarily. Now Sedalia Ellis probing. And a rebound to Hillary Summers.
Again, most of their shots have come from inside the lane. North Carolina needs to really look to contain the ball a little bit better and take them to the corners of the court.
Cherry with the lob. Gray was doubled. And a whistle against Liberty. Jasmine Gardner picks up her first. She might be an X factor for Liberty when we were talking to the coaches yesterday, a former starter.
That's right. She's got the fire burning to get back on the court. But when you have a player who has come out of the starting lineup, the hunger and the incentive is built in, especially at this time of the year.
Mavunga back on the floor and out of bounds. They go right to her. Liberty couldn't get the rebound, so another chance. Wide open Washington. Knocks down the triple.
Great spacing and recognition by North Carolina to find Washington in the corner. You have to relocate and help your teammates so you can get a good shot.
All saved in the corner by Ellis. And stolen away. Beautiful play by the freshman Jamie Cherry. That's the first turnover for Liberty in the game. Danielle Butts from the baseline. And the follow by Washington.
What a tremendous follow-up on the offensive glass by Washington. She's come in and she's been a spark for the Tar Heels.
Washington, who scored 16 for the Tar Heels in their last game at the ACC tournament against Louisville. She had three three-pointers in that game, and now a trap. And calling for the time and getting the time. Heads-up play by the junior Jamie Fisher-Davis. 7 straight North Majors. We're going to have James Madison against Ohio State here in Chapel Hill later. And then, of course, you got Liberty, winners of 20 of their last 21. Had an early lead, but the bench of North Carolina has come up big, and they nearly forced another turnover. This will be Liberty ball with 6 to shoot.
Well, the bench has come up tremendously well for North Carolina to start this game. 5 assists on 7 made field goals and 7 bench points. So that's what you need. You need that support. And the coach for Liberty, Kerry Green, told us yesterday that his bench would be the X factor for this game, but we haven't seen that yet.
Get a little break here for Liberty. The kicked out of bounds will put 15 on the shot clock instead of 6. But can they beat the 5 count? Great feed underneath and a basket. Just missed it point blank by Jasmine Gardner. And Liberty will get a new 30 seconds here. Walking the tight wire as Carolina has scored 7 straight. Still waiting on that 3-point shot as it goes out of bounds. To the Tar Heels. Liberty 2 of its last 12 from the field.
Well, the defense has really picked up for North Carolina, and you can credit them for making Liberty rush their shots. They don't want to play in a quick manner, but North Carolina, because of their defense, forces the issue.
Three-pointer Washington. She's been big off the bench for Carolina, missing there. Well, there's no surprise that Sylvia Hatchell would like to bring those big defenders out on the perimeter if she can today. And here's a turnover for Liberty.
Well, that was just terrific defense. Washington was so tight coming through the screen that they couldn't get a clear pass.
North Carolina in the midst of a 7-0 run. Liberty's coming up on 3 minutes without a point after a hot start here on the road. Butts puts it on the ground, floats it up. Now Liberty will look to run.
There's a great rebound in there by Gardner for Liberty.
Emily Frazier fouled on the screen, a block foul. It's going to be on Washington. That'll be Jessica's first. 4th team foul against North Carolina here, so baseline out of bounds coming for the Lady Flames of Liberty. This is their 16th NCAA tournament, and we're actually in the 10th anniversary year of their 2 NCAA wins back in 2005. Made a surprise run to the Sweet 16. Cherry blocks it, saved, but here comes North Carolina able to run. Gray with the pull-up in transition. Gray gets the miss, runs into a wall, and Catherine Carney will get tagged with the foul.
Well, defensively right here, watch Washington squeeze over the screen there, really not allowing any opportunity to turn the corner off the screen. So that's what you have to do as a defender. You can't be waiting too far off the weak side and giving too much space for that pass to be a clean one. You've got to squeeze tight to the offensive player that you're guarding right there.
Very proactive move, and now Kerry Green's going to go to his starting big players as Reiniger and Adams are back on the floor. 9 straight North Carolina points. Liberty about a 2-hour drive away north of here, about 124 miles away in Lynchburg, Virginia, and they had a number of buses that pulled up to Carmichael Arena this morning.
Yes, we saw about 4 or 5 buses from Liberty, so great support of their program.
3-point attempt high off the rim. Reiniger, the putback, can't get the roll. And it goes to North Carolina as Liberty's gone ice cold. Still unable to hit from outside as well. The NCAA Wrestling Championships conclude tonight in St. Louis. You can catch the final at 8 Eastern on ESPN and also on Watch ESPN, and special off-the-mat coverage on ESPN3. And visit NCAA.com, the home for all 89 NCAA championships. Called a foul on Caitlin Adams, her second that last trip down. Liberty nearly turned over the Tar Heels.
When you're going after a loose ball, you can't just put one hand on it. You've got to grab it with 2.
And a foul and a basket for Mavunga. Gardner came on the weak side, but is going to get called for that foul and a chance at a 3-point play.
Well, she came from the weak side, but she had not established her defensive position. Great call. Mavunga just really doing her work early to get that seal to the baseline side.
And Mavunga completing a 3-point play. She's got 5 points. She's got 6 early rebounds. Her last 2 games each 16 rebounds. She has been huge on the glass for Coach Hatchell.
Well, she just exudes so much great energy. She told us yesterday that usually guards are the most vocal players on the court, but she needs to be vocal. She has a lot of energy and a lot of good information to share as a good leader for the team.
Reiniger stripped from behind by Danielle Butts. 4th Liberty turnover. Butts lays it in.
And that is the style of play that North Carolina has thrived on all season. It's the reason why they've won 24 games coming into the NCAA tournament.
Danger zone for Liberty. 14 straight points and a trapping defense by Sylvia Hatchell.
She knows that the size inside, they may have the advantage there as the shot goes down. But if they can apply that ball pressure from the outside, that could calm the storm on the inside.
Reiniger her first points, and Reiniger the steal right there. They're going to need Ashley Reiniger, the 6'4" redshirt junior from Canton, to get going. He was the Big South most outstanding player for the 2nd straight year, and a tied possession on that rebound. Liberty has the arrow.
Nobody wanted to give that ball up on the rebound, and that just shows you what March Madness means. One and done situations in games. So if you have a chance for a 50-50 ball, which rebounds are, you've got to snatch it.
And into the backcourt goes the inbounds pass, which is legal, and here comes Carly Buer the other way. Now we got a timeout. Nope, official coming over. Did the clock stop prematurely? It's at 8:09. There were some issues with the clock in-house before the game started. And That was a shot clock error, not a game clock error, so reset at 23. There was potential to keep a manual clock here today, but so far the game clock, don't want to jinx it, has been working fine in the first half.
So far, so good. And look for Carolina to continue trying to trap the ball up top.
Ellis breaking down the defense. Buer from the corner. Again, Ofer. Here's Liberty from three-point land. 0 for 6 to start this game. Dangerous Jessica Washington feeding Mavunga. Might be the key matchup of the afternoon. Mavunga against Reiniger.
It was a good idea on that move, the reverse pivot, but you've got to drive it all the way to the body of the defender.
There was a cutting Gardner down the lane, but drew contact. Will get herself to the line as
third opportunities to score on the inside. 7 second chance points for the Tar Heels to start.
Jasmine Gardner, redshirt senior at the line. It's the first of 2, and their defense has also been turned up. North Carolina. Liberty did not turn the ball over for the first 6.5 minutes of this game. In the last 6 minutes, they've turned it over 5 times, and Carolina's taken advantage.
And it gives you the advantage because you do not allow Liberty any easy shots, no quality shots, and you rush the good looks that they do get.
Nice cut by Gray. Could not come up with the ball. Stolen underneath by Liberty. There's the 5th turnover for the Tar Heels. Ellis might have had it partially blocked, if not redirected. Out ahead for Gray. Not sure she's going to get it as she leaps over the chain into the end zone seats there, showing off some of her athleticism.
Well, she was an acrobat right there and jumped over that chain. That could have ended a different way, but thankfully not. Right here, the hustle.
Hello.
Oh, a little hurdle.
Well, they're holding some track and field events right outside of Carmichael. She should head out at halftime. A little late by 400-meter hurdle involved. Ellis going against Coleman, who's been a pest on the defensive end, knocks it out of bounds.
And Latifah Coleman will not be denied. Great footwork defensively. That's the kind of effort that you want from your defense if you're a coach.
Well, this is a North Carolina team, as Sylvia Hatchell had said. Not only do they want to get a home game, which they've gotten at least one. If they win, they will host a second-round matchup on Monday. Shot clock down to 6. Here's Buer, and knocks down the free throw line jumper. But Sylvia Hatchell also wanted to get in that Greensboro region. That is huge because they could potentially play their first 4 games within 45 minutes of campus. That's a deep 2 for Latifah Coleman.
That's definitely very convenient for the Tar Heels to stay close to home.
I mean, think of Duke, right? They're right down the road. They're on the same seed line, but they're in the Spokane region. So if they get to the Sweet 16, they got to go to the West Coast. Reiniger on the spin.
You just love the hands and feet of Reiniger inside on that finish.
This is what Carolina wants. They just want to run Liberty up and down, and Coleman's got 7.
If you don't turn around and stop the basketball by half court or before that, you're in big trouble against North Carolina. They will run up your back and finish just like that.
Again, the hands of the Carolina defense, tied possession, and North Carolina basketball. It has been a completely different game on the defensive end since the 7-minute mark into this half. And it started with the bench of North Carolina, and now the starters have taken over and have really turned things around for UNC.
Right, they've really been a tremendous spark off the bench with their energy and effort, getting those second chance opportunities, but also turning up the intensity on the defensive end.
One of those players, Jessica Washington's just going to get a temporary breather. And Dia Bryant, number 22 in white, standing in the left corner, is on the floor as Mavunga misses from point blank.
And that's another good move. She just seems to be off balance when she takes her shot. She has a power game. She's got to power the ball up and finish.
Emily Frazier passing the ball out into the corner. Liberty has not hit a three-pointer here in the first half. We've got 5 minutes to go in the half.
And they're a 30% shooting team from range.
0 for 6 from 3, but they'll go inside. That's where their size is, and Reiniger gets fouled.
Well, Bryant got her with the body inside. And Reininger didn't square up all the way, so that was a difficult shot to begin with.
Well, and Dia Bryant is number 1 for Bryant. Both teams at 16 fouls here in the half. As Reininger bags the first of 2. Not only is Ashley Reininger the Big South Tournament MVP once again, but she was the Scholar Athlete of the Year. I mean, talk about 4.0 graduate, and now looking at a 4.0 in Masters as well.
Absolutely. Going for the PhD program in criminal justice.
That's right.
At Liberty. So student athlete personified.
They have not had an answer for Latifah Coleman at the rim, and she'll have a chance at a 3-point play.
What North Carolina does so well, they space you out, and then they're able to find these kinds of creases. Just the speed and ability to finish in traffic by Coleman is so impressive.
Reininger with 1 personal foul. Latifah Coleman missing on the free throw. She's got 9. It's tipped out, but controlled by Liberty.
Liberty's coach, Gary Green, told us that he wants to be methodical in the quarter court offensively. He wants efficient offense. But North Carolina has pushed them out so far. They have not been able to attack like they want to.
Reininger, great pass down to the low box.
Until now. Great spacing and a great bounce pass. That's what post players want.
And Reininger got off that slow start. Remember, was scoreless for a long time. She's got 8 points now. Here's Bryant from the corner. Knocks it down. That's her first basket. This is against a Liberty team that is used to holding teams under 50%. I think it's 63 straight games. That's the number. They have held teams under 50%. They're doing that today against North Carolina, but the Tar Heels are getting some good looks.
All right, Liberty defensively holds teams to 35% shooting from the floor, for 13th in the country. So a staunch defensive team, no question.
Little pull-up shot won't go. In fact, that last basket for North Carolina got them right back to 50%, so right on the number. Lob for Mavunga. Did anyone touch it? Yeah, it was touched by a Liberty defender out of bounds to the Tar Heels. Today, Wichita State, the only the really good mid-majors who played yesterday and suffered defeat.
And we'll see James Madison here this afternoon.
Against Ohio State. Here's Mavunga drawing contact from behind.
That's what post players are taught, to keep the ball very high on the catch. Catch it high, keep it high. Right there, the pump fake. She felt the defense behind her and did a good job of getting into the body of the defender.
Stephanie Mavunga was telling us yesterday that she's not used to looking up at opponents as she did against Liberty. I think she pointed out an Oregon State game where she actually was against a taller opponent, actually got a shot blocked, which kind of stunned her in that game.
And for post players, you're not really used to that. You're used to being the blocker, not the blockee. But Mavunga, definitely a strong presence for Carolina this season.
Danielle Butts got called for that foul, so over the limit is North Carolina. This will be 1-1 coming up for Caitlin Adams of the post players. She's a 68% free throw shooter and knocks down the front end. Well, if you're Kerry Green, you had a lead early. You've tried to withstand the 14-0 run. How are you feeling right now, down 8 here, these final 3.5? What are you looking for?
I think you have to say to your team, defensive transition is the key. I think that's the difference in the game in this first half. Just getting stops.
Carney got a big offensive rebound there. You got to credit North Carolina. They've done a good job deflecting passes, getting in the way of Liberty's bigs. Mavunga against Adams. In and out. Big rebound for Emily Frazier. She's a big story here, the captain of Liberty. This is her NCAA Tournament debut, number 21 in red. 122 games. She was on the teams that went to the tournament in 2012 and 2013, but was injured both times.
Right, but she's been playing well down the stretch. She made the tournament team in the Big South Tournament.
Well, they struggled from the field as Carney gets an offensive rebound. Still without a three-pointer in the half. Buer chasing it down. They're getting good looks, just not converting. Mavunga says, get that out of here, blocking Simone Brown.
And there's Mavunga's presence once again defensively for North Carolina. The second layer of D is the one. She didn't even leave her feet on that one. Just swatted it like a fly at a picnic. Boom.
2.5 minutes to go here in our first half. Buer. 15 on the shot. Buer takes it inside and gets contact. And that'll be on Latifah Coleman. That is her second.
Well, when you play such tight defense, you've got to give a little bit of space. You need an arm's distance away. And then if the offensive player beats you, you need to trust the next line of defense to come and rotate over and help.
Buer, redshirt senior, missing on the first free throw. Liberty has stayed in the game at the line. 8 of 12. They have 8 free throws down, 8 field goals made, and also the offensive rebounding has been key. 11 of those for Liberty.
And that has held them close in this game as well. Liberty prides themselves on their work on the glass.
Well, look at the 5-time Big South Coach of the Year, Kerry Green, as Liberty splits the free throws. There's a look at Coach Green in his 16th season, 2-12 all time in the NCAA. Those 2 wins in the 05 tournament. Coming up on 2 minutes to go here in the half. We'll see if Liberty's defense can come up with a stop. Little step back, and Butts knocks it down.
And she has perfected that move and added it to her skill set. That step back gets her right in balance.
Danielle Butts has always brought energy off the bench. One of the many seniors on this North Carolina squad for Sylvia Hatchell.
She was very vocal yesterday in practice, saying value the ball to her teammates.
6 on the shot clock. Brown into the lane. Missed wide left, and Butts has the rebound. North Carolina's led as big as 11, and Gray's basket counted, and the foul has made it an 11-point game once again.
Just a tremendous job in their secondary offense, pushing the break. Sylvia Hatchell said, don't dribble unless you have to. Right there, just one dribble. Gets her right to the rim. Finishing with contact is Alicia Gray.
8 points for Gray, as you see there. First team All-ACC. Missing on the free throw. She is a 1,000-point scorer as a sophomore. That's a big standard. In fact, she's the first to do it since Ivory Latta, one of her assistant coaches.
Ivory Latta, the firecracker point guard. He's a tremendous player here for Sylvia Hatchell.
Liberty looking to lob down low. Got a fortuitous bounce. No foul called or tied possession. They're going to call the tie there. That could have also gone as a travel with the player falling down.
Tremendous leader. 2-time WNBA All-Star with the Washington Mystics as the foul is called there.
Foul on Liberty. It's going to be on Caitlin Adams. And that'll be her 3rd. So big foul picked up there as we look at the accolades for Miss Latta.
Just an energy fulfiller for her teams. Whichever team she's on, you know that that team is going to be led with a fireball at the point guard position because of Ivory Latta's presence. And she is a leader. She helps the young players adapt to this next level of competition.
Ivory Latta on the bench. Good times for North Carolina, putting up 36 here in the first half with a minute to go. The officials had gotten together momentarily, and we thought they might change that foul, but it will stay on Caitlin Adams, the 6'5" redshirt junior. So that's a 3rd foul and a big one picked up with a minute to go on your own inbound.
Oh, that's difficult, especially back for a post player in the backcourt.
Danielle Butts pops out of the left corner, and they'll rule that last touch by North Carolina.
And look for Liberty here to really use the clock to take some momentum into the halftime locker room.
Liberty 0 for 7 from 3-point land. Emily Frazier trying to use a screen. Nice job by Gray. And that bounce pass eluding Carney in the post.
Just a little bit too close to her feet. You want that to be 3/4 of the way to the receiver.
8 first-half turnovers for Liberty. And now North Carolina will get the final shot of the first half. They've shot 50% in this first half. Cherry pull-up 3. Oh, yeah. And Liberty's going to use... That didn't sync up with our replay. Well, here we go. 1.9. Shot is away. No good off the rim. So an 0 for 8 first half from 3. Some positive reinforcement, but the first 5 minutes of the second half go a long way to see if Liberty can make some noise here in a true road game in round 1 of the NCAA tournament.
North Carolina sticks with their man-to-man defense coming out of the locker room, but what Liberty needs to do, they need to contest shots by North Carolina in the quarter court and get back defensively in transition.
A nice job harassing the guards, and there's Emily Frazier in her NCAA debut scoring there.
And Frazier, she took advantage of how tight North Carolina's defense is. When you're up tight like that, you can take that first step and finish.
Stephanie Mavunga, a little fall away, comes out, and Frazier, one of the smallest players on the court, with the rebound.
Mavunga just not getting fully square before she let that shot go.
Reininger scoring down low, so an early 4-point burst for the Lady Flames.
That's just what the doctor ordered. Reininger with the strong finish inside.
Reininger in double figures with 10 and a foul on the baseline as Gray got knocked down. Reininger with her second.
Look at the great setup pass, the bounce entry pass for the post player. Reininger catches it in rhythm.
Ashley Reininger, leading scorer, leading rebounder for Liberty. And right now guarding Stephanie Mavunga. On the post up and the fake. Nice job that time. An offensive rebound, and Mavunga's going to get to the line. Reininger did a nice job the first couple times, not buying the fake, but not able to get position.
And again, if you're a post player, if you're a power player, you've got to sit down low so that you can have that explosion, so you can finish those little shots inside the lane. She tried to go up with one hand on the putback, but she's got to use more of her power and strength in the paint.
And Caitlin Adams, the other big in the post, got her 4th foul there. So 1:15 into the second half. Remember, Adams picked up a foul at half court with a minute to go in the first half. And so now Carrie Green in some big trouble.
When you think about that one, you don't want to give those fouls, especially as a post player, before the ball even crosses the half court line.
I told you earlier, they're one of just 11 teams that have at least 3 players at 6'4". They bring in the 6'2" Jasmine Gardner here. Catherine Carney comes off the bench, but Reininger throws it away. Coleman starts her second half strong.
Another live ball turnover, and that's what Carrie Green is telling his team. We have to take better care of the basketball, and you cannot leave your post player on an island. Guards have to come and get it.
Hands all over the passing lanes for North Carolina in this first round NCAA tournament game. The winner will get the winner of James Madison and Ohio State. It's coming up a little later here in Chapel Hill. Frazier takes Gray to the short corner, looking for their first 3 make. Still looking.
North Carolina did a good job switching on all screens back there.
And the player control foul on Brittany Roundtree. That'll be her second.
Well, that's the kind of hustle you need in defensive transition. This was certainly discussed at halftime. The defense was set and established.
That was Sedalia Ellis, number 3, who took that charge, giving up the body, as she so often does.
She works out with the track team during the offseason, so her speed definitely coming into play on that defensive stop.
5'6" firecracker out of Houston, Texas. Well, they're giving the guards no room to look inside throughout much of this game. Ray cutting off.
Just good defense right there. No seams along the baseline.
Carney missing the shot, and here comes North Carolina. Roundtree to Gray, who scores inside.
Well, Roundtree got the defense off balance first to create the passing angle inside to Gray.
They have accomplished what they wanted to, Christy, right? They're getting the bigs out, and you had a guard playing on the block and able to beat her inside.
Look to go some zone just to pack it in, but not a tight zone, a wide zone to get out to the Carolina shooters.
Gardner lost it for a moment, gets through a double, a triple team, and throws it in. She was under heavy duress, got contact, and she'll get a chance at a three-point play.
Well, look at this shot here by Garner, the up and under move. She loses the handle of it and just threw the keys on the kitchen counter with that one and got it to go off the glass.
Brittany Roundtree picked up the foul, her third. Jasmine Gardner, redshirt senior who tore her ACL right before the NCAA tournament 2 years ago. Three-point play there. So many of those stories on this Liberty team of NCAA's miss due to injury. They set a Big South record with a 19-win conference year. Well, they know they got a big test taking on North Carolina, the ACC.
They're coming into the tournament winning 14 games in a row and 20 of their last 21 games.
They're going to say out of bounds. Last touch by Coleman, so Liberty gets it back. And Liberty played NC State earlier this year, only lost by 3. Played Minnesota pretty tough. They got beat down pretty good. It was a back-to-back in Minneapolis. They lost to number one ranked South Carolina. But Kerry Green does like to schedule big non-conference.
And that's why he did so well in conference play. And brought strong momentum into the postseason.
Well, as that ball tipped, officials look at each other. They say, yep, tipped out by Carolina. And Liberty will have the ball.
On that selfie with their team.
Mavunga with 9 rebounds here in this first round matchup. See what Liberty designs coming out of the timeout, and a block shot by Bryant across the baseline, and Liberty will have 4 on the shot clock here.
I like the ambition right now of Liberty coming out of timeouts, attacking the paint, and that's what they did well early, Mark. They got into the lane and got some finishes. They just haven't been able to complete plays.
Timeout called by Liberty. South Carolina and North Carolina in Greensboro. A long way to go before them, but that would be a rematch for the Sweet 16.
That would be a rematch. North Carolina beat South Carolina last year at Stanford in the Sweet 16 game. And then North Carolina lost to Stanford after that.
Here's a look at the Ohio State Buckeyes getting set to take on James Madison. Kelsey Mitchell, the outstanding freshman and the leading scorer in the nation, taking in this one as Mavunga scores, and she'll get to the free throw line.
And that is a typical move by Stephanie Mavunga. The strong finish because of how low she gets in her position. The pick and roll, she opens to the ball, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do. And that gives her an easy bucket in the paint.
Mavunga trying to make it 9 and 9, misses the free throw. These were 2 points off turnover coming out of timeout. There were 4 on the shot clock. Liberty did not get the shot off. And so down 13, here they come.
I still get a sense that if Liberty can go on a little run offensively, get some stops defensively, they'd be right back in this game. But North Carolina's smothering defense has made it miserable for them.
Another North Carolina turnover, and Jasmine Gardner forced to foul from behind as Carolina was looking to run. That's 3 on Gardner.
Well, another live ball turnover by the Lady Flames right here. The double team on the block. He tried to split it. There's nowhere to go. And Cherry right there for the steal, and she was fouled.
11 turnovers for Liberty. 16 points off turnover for North Carolina. Cherry hitting the side of the backboard, was looking for contact, no call. Here's a run out. 3-pointer up, and that hits the side of the backboard, but an offensive rebound and putback for Liberty's Catherine Carney.
Carney right there with the 2 hands high for that offensive putback.
Cherry pull-up shot, no good. And then a foul from behind. That's going to be Gray, who was reaching in. Gray picks up her second.
Liberty is doing a good job of stopping on the glass.
A reminder, the road to the Frozen Four ices up tomorrow. The NCAA Hockey Championship selection show, noon Eastern on ESPNU, and watch ESPN. And visit NCAA.com, the home for all 89 NCAA championships. It was a great time of year. Sports Crossing championship season. Of course, my partner, Christy Winter-Scott, went to the Final Four in 1989 at Maryland. It was an exciting run.
It was an awesome year. We were 29-3 that season.
Jumper not there. Another North Carolina foul. Sylvia Hatchell barking from down below. Didn't like the over-the-back call on Stephanie Mavunga, her second.
You have to have position even if you're taller than the person in front of you. You can't just go over, and Mavunga did. And it's challenging for post players because if you have the height advantage, the ball is right there. But if someone is smaller in front of you, you can't reach over top if they have contact on you.
Mavunga at 6'3". Michaela Sanders, who was fouled, she's only 6 feet tall. She's back in her home state. Sanders wearing number 1 in red from Clayton, North Carolina. It's about 45 minutes east of Chapel Hill. Shot not there, knocked out of bounds. It'll be North Carolina ball. Mavunga a little bit upset, probably still thinking about that offensive foul as she heads to the bench.
She has a lot of emotion. She has a lot of emotion with her, but she's a competitor.
You know, you had talked about Zelina McDaniel, Xavier McDaniel's daughter, who was injured earlier this year, but Stephanie Mavunga was saying how Zelina is an important extra set of eyes for her on the bench all season long.
No question. You know, post players watch the same things during games. And McDaniel has been a leader in her absence after tearing her Achilles earlier this season. And Sylvia Hatchell told us it was a high tear.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough for her to make it back for any postseason activity this year.
Foul on the perimeter is going to be on Alicia Gray. She's going to pick up her third. And then as a 5th team foul against North Carolina here in the half, and Dia Bryant will sit down. She has struggled to get her game going. So you can see there really showing no smile at all headed to the bench.
Every ladder calls her Kobe Bryant, and she was calling her that yesterday in practice. Her shot was on.
Great shovel underneath, and Jasmine Gardner scores. They got it under 10, 6 points for Gardner.
Everybody playing with some desperation right now here in the second half.
Long 3 try is good by Alicia Gray.
Alicia Gray coming up huge once again. The sophomore leads the team in scoring with 16 points a game on the season with a much needed momentum changing 3.
13 now off that make. That's a backbreaker. You're packing in your defense inside, and you get beat over the top on a long 3, and a second chance opportunity for Ashley Reininger, who's got a dozen.
Reininger staying aggressive.
Washington lost it in the lane. Down court, great pass and score. And the Liberty faithful come alive here. There you see him, made the trip down from Lynchburg as Liberty pulls within 8.
Kerry Green, he likes to be deliberate offensively, but if they have an advantage, they will take it in the fast break situations.
There might be a split crowd in here, 50-50. Carolina fans and Liberty fans.
I would agree.
Bucks on the move. Great shoulder fake. And the crowd cheers as Reininger has the rebound. North Carolina led by as many as 14 at halftime. It's down to 8 here. And this all without Liberty hitting from distance. They're 0 for 9 from 3. 0 for 10. Carolina running with numbers. 3 on 2. And they throw it away. Unforced error. Timeout on the floor. 10th Carolina.
After only shooting 25% in the first half.
Well, nice job with the guard play. They've had to go a little bit smaller. Caitlin Adams went out early with a 4th foul. Jasmine Gardner came in, threw up a big shot in a double, almost triple team. And outside of Alicia Gray's 3, as Reininger scores, it's a 6-point game.
Outstanding rip through and squaring of the shoulders to the rim for Reininger.
There you see North Carolina's futility in the last 4.5 minutes. Just that Gray 3, and it was a deep 3. Mavunga's back in the game, spins and gets contact and gets to the line.
I thought Reininger did a tremendous job of cutting off the baseline there. Mavunga stuck with the play.
Well, it's 3 on Reininger, so the fouls continue to mount for Liberty as Stephanie Mavunga, first team all ACC, will go to the line 2 of 6 from the free throw line. 64% during the season. And makes a big one there, stopping the Liberty momentum for the moment. That snaps a 6-0 run. Hey, North Carolina is no stranger to having some sweaty games at home in the NCAA. Last year, it was Tennessee Martin. Remember, UT Martin had an 18-point second half lead, and it looked like Carolina was going out in round 1 and won by 2 points.
And Sylvia Hatchell wasn't at that game. Liberty turns the ball over once again, and she was saying she was yelling at the TV and everything. It was so frustrating for her not to be in attendance. And again, she's just so grateful to be back on the sidelines with her team, and we love seeing her there.
Yeah, we saw her yesterday, and just, you know, normal, how you doing, good to see you, and it's like, it's good to be seen. And she said that numerous times and meant it after a huge health scare last year. Off the turnover, Frazier can't convert. North Carolina wants a push. Nice ball fake. Coleman drains.
Coleman had the Jordan-esque finish with her legs scissored on that jumper.
And of course, here at Carmichael Arena, where else? Where those great North Carolina teams from the early 80s played under the late Dean Smith. Tried to post up. Jasmine Gardner might have had a better pass from the top, but that one goes through for another turnover, number 13 against Liberty.
Well, here's North Carolina pushing the tempo right here, but look at this shot. The pump fake and then the scissor legs on the finish. Sweet shot.
Leads back to 10. Washington, it was a big momentum changer for North Carolina, turns it over there. Liberty Lady Flames have won 20 of their last 21. The only loss January 20th against Winthrop. And again, still empty from three-point land. 0 for 11.
That's a big piece of their offense that's missing.
Nice bounce inside for Sanders, but tipped out. It'll stay with Liberty. First, a lineup change for North Carolina. Roundtree in, Gray out. Carly Buer right back to Emily Frazier, captain of this Liberty team.
North Carolina does such a great job of switching on screens. There's always a defensive presence.
Michaela Sanders scoring. That's her first basket of the day.
Sanders has had good looks for Liberty.
Mavunga going right around Reininger, but can't finish. And a steal from behind by Jessica Washington. Well, that's 3 big turnovers for Liberty here during this stretch.
Great awareness by Washington to creep up behind and get the steal on Frazier.
And now losing the ball, Coleman, but they'll say last touch off the thigh of a Liberty player.
Still have time to fight.
And there's Emily, who made some big plays in the entire Big South tournament. Redshirt senior. Can Liberty get the stop here? Free throw line jumper. Too strong. Offensive board, tied possession. Arrow staying with North Carolina.
My goodness. Did you see Danielle Butts leave the floor like a rocket ship and get the ball? Watch the rebound right here. Butts out of nowhere comes flying in and rips the ball away.
That was Jasmine Gardner. She had position, but Butts with the big play and North Carolina with the possession. And away from the ball, an offensive foul. Butts setting the screen illegally, her second.
You can't lean one way or the other when you're setting the screen. It's your teammate's job to set you up. Let's take a look right here. Lex is going to pass the ball. She's going to try to go for an away screen. She slid to the left.
And they've been cutting down on that all year. One of the points of emphasis even heading back into this tournament. 16 foul on North Carolina. We're under 8 minutes to go here in Chapel Hill. Could this be the first 3 of the game? They have gotten some offensive boards on those misses and a foul. And we'll send Reiniger to the line. Hillary Summers picks up, but celebrating his 7th birthday, a March Madness kid, his grandson Josh.
Oh, happy birthday to Josh, and another grandson coming in July. And there's Coach Green's wife, who was showing us the cutest pictures yesterday of practice of her grandsons.
Josh's dad, Josh Grunkemeyer, who is the assistant coach at Ball State. So it's a basketball family.
All basketball all the time. I love it.
3-pointer miss by North Carolina, but Butts an offensive board. Roundtree squares for 3, and it's good.
That was the 3 that they needed. And Sylvia Hatchell is applauding the efforts that time by Roundtree, who took a long one.
That was the first shot of the day for Brittany Roundtree, who also has 5 assists and 4 rebounds. And just made it a 10-point game. Deep 2, not good, and a loose ball foul.
Let's take a look at the range on the 3 by Roundtree. That's a good 3 feet behind the line there. Sweet shot, young lady.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Jasmine Gardner just picked up her 4th foul. And as of right now is still on the floor, number 24 in red. So Gardner and Caitlin Adams both with 4 fouls. Testing the depth of Coach Green's Liberty front line.
As well as the trust. You got to leave him in at this juncture.
7 minutes left in the first round matchup. Going from Mavunga. And through contact scoring down low.
Nice look inside, but great positioning. Makes it easier for the guards to get those entry passes in.
Stephanie Mavunga's made it a 12-point lead for the Tar Heels. Michaela Sanders, 0 for 13 from 3-point land. Mavunga kept the dribble, but commits the foul. And that's 3 on Stephanie Mavunga.
Michaela Sanders got herself in good defensive positioning, and she had established her position right there outside of the restricted area as well. Great defense by Liberty.
Give credit to Liberty. That's the 2nd charge taken. Sedalia Ellis took a pretty nasty charge in the first half. In fact, we have not seen her here in the second half. Here's Gardner with foul trouble, blocked by Mavunga, but keeps it and misses. 3rd opportunity's good, and a foul.
And that's why you stay persistent on the offensive glass. Take a look right here, Gardner. She's going to continue to fight. A nice up and under move with her feet. Stays with it, misses that one. Nobody turns and puts a body on her, and that's why she's able to get 3 shots at the rim.
And there's Stephanie Mavunga is going to have to sit down with 4 personal fouls. So Sylvia Hatchell taking no chances. Her depth at big not as wide as Kerry Green's.
Absolutely, without Selena McDaniel's presence.
Reiniger, the offensive rebound and the putback. It's an 8-point game.
Well, you know you're in trouble when teams are getting offensive rebounds off of free throws where you're already established on the inside for position.
Coleman fakes the 3. A little fading shot, won't get the roll. Not sure the shot that Sylvia Hatchell wanted on that possession.
That was another strong rebound by Gardner, however. Liberty getting the stops that they need to continue to climb back in this game.
Gardner playing with 4 fouls. Getting contact on the shot is Michaela Sanders.
Alicia Gray right there did not continue to move her feet. And that's going to be a huge foul.
Yeah, that's 4 on Gray. So Gray and Mavunga, both of whom fouled out in overtime in the ACC quarters against Louisville in their previous game, now both with 4 fouls here.
And Mark, those are the 2 players who we discussed yesterday at practice. If those two got in foul trouble, that could be a huge issue for North Carolina. A huge chunk of time left in this game.
Who's got to step up for Coach Hatchell?
I would say Coleman.
Yeah.
And she was effective in the first half, 4 or 5 shooting, 9 points in 12 minutes. She's got to turn it up right here.
Michaela Sanders splitting the free throws. Ashley Reininger will come out of the game. Sedalia Ellis, we said hadn't seen her much of the second half, if at all. There you see her picking up Coleman here on defense. Over the top, Gray wide open for the score.
A super look inside by Summers, the high-low pass.
Alicia Gray staying on the floor with those 4 fouls. He's got 15 points. 3-pointer missed again. 0 for 14 Liberty from distance. Pass ahead. Gray with a great save. And Bryant scores. Boy, sometimes the Hall of Famers just know which buttons to push. Mavunga came out with 4 fouls. Gray stays in. Gets a basket and a great baseline save. And finally, Liberty has hit its first 3 of the afternoon. They're 1 for 50.
Tournament and will beat you by 50 points. And that's the kind of confidence that his team plays with. They work hard for that, though. It's not just a given.
And I don't pay a lot of attention to recruiting, but I heard the best high school player of the year at Mater Dei in Santa Ana, California. I'm like, that's about as far from Connecticut as possible. Where's she going? She's going to UConn.
Winning tradition draws those kinds of players, and Gino Ariema and his staff, they continue to reload every season.
Lost their second game of the year at Stanford, haven't lost since. Liberty missing there, tip ball. Sanders try, gets a second offensive board and gets fouled by Brittany Roundtree, and she's got 4 fouls.
Difficult time
for Savannah State as Dawn Staley looks to make a little history at South Carolina.
Dawn Staley has done a tremendous job with her program, and the Gamecocks, they travel well with their fans. Also,
huge crowd in Columbia last night.
It has been just fun to see her. I played against her in college when she was at UVA. I was playing at Maryland as Liberty gets yet another rebound on the offensive side.
They have been crushing it on the offensive glass. That is their 20th offensive rebound of the afternoon. Again, that trapping defense. Ellis, a great behind the back dribble. But her post pass is tipped away, and Carolina comes up with it.
Somehow she got out of the trap. The masterful behind the back dribble.
Mavunga through a double team. She traveled. She thought she was hit, but as the double team came, it widened just a bit, and she took the extra step. 15th turnover.
She picked up her pivot foot inside. Or take a look at her feet right here. Little skip. The 1-2-3.
Liberty heading toward the end zone of Carmichael Arena, where most of their fans are. Great pass. Carney double came over, knocked out of bounds, and it's Liberty ball. Sylvia Hatchell thought it was tipped last by Liberty. But it'll be baseline out of bounds for Sedalia Ellis and the Lady Flames.
She's got Mavunga's presence right in front of her.
Mavunga tipped it, but Carney comes up with it. 13 to shoot. A lot of time here. 3 minutes to go. This is Michaela Sanders. Been big off the bench. Lost the ball to North Carolina.
It's good defense by Roundtree to cut her off.
Playing with 4 fouls.
Brittany Roundtree got herself right where she needed to and took that gamble.
Brittany Roundtree, Alicia Gray, and Stephanie Mavunga, all with 4 fouls. As Kerry Green almost has a line change as he brings in Emily Frazier off the bench, Carly Bueller, Jasmine Gardner. The chant from the Liberty faithful of defense. And Dia Bryant gathers and hits. Six for Bryant. Carolina's lead back to 9. Ellis floats it off the glass. Tipped last by Bryant, but her feet had contacted out of bounds. It stays Liberty ball.
That was a great contest of the shot inside by Carolina's Bryant, number 22. Made her overshoot that really high on the glass. Didn't give it a good chance to go in.
Nice feed inside to Frazier, around the world 2 times at home.
And Frazier has been the consummate leader for her team this afternoon.
7-point North Carolina lead. Coleman spinning, missing. Reiniger rebounds. And Gray with 5 fouls swiped there dangerously. With 4, I should say.
That would have been the 5th had they made contact.
We had asked Kerry Green yesterday, within 7, under 2 minutes to go, would he have signed up for it? I think he'd want to be in front, but he would definitely take a 3-possession game here with 1:40 left.
Good stop that time by North Carolina, not allowing second chance opportunities for Liberty that time.
Carolina using some clock here. Try to use the full 30 if they can. 5 to shoot. Bryant loads up from the corner. And a foul on the jump shooter late in the shot clock. Wow. Carolina has taken 14 free throws. They've only made half of them. And this is Bryant's first of the day.
Bryant making a huge impact down the stretch. Now for North Carolina. Yesterday in practice, she was pulling on the rim, jumping up and just grabbing it and pulling it down. So a tremendous future for her here in Chapel Hill.
As you see Jasmine Gardner and now Kerry Green and his Liberty team down 9 on the 2 free throws. 3-pointer good from Jamie Fisher-Davis, the Charlotte native.
Fisher-Davis doing her best to keep her team in the mix.
Only the second 3-point make of the afternoon, coming at a good time. Back to a 2-possession game. Sylvia Hatchell's club can take some more time off the clock. Off the window and in for Latifah Coleman.
Latifah Coleman maneuvered, surveyed, and finished strong, made her own space.
15 points for Coleman, and that is a huge one. Liberty needs a basket, needs it quick. And they get a foul, helping them get to the line with 26.9 to go. Let's take a look at today's Capital One Cup impact performance. Alicia Gray might be the one playing with 4 fouls down the stretch.
Well, Alicia Gray shooting 60% from the floor. Has been highly efficient for the Tar Heels this afternoon. Right at her average. She averages 16 on the season. But only a sophomore. You think of her as a junior or senior because of her production on the court and her poise.
And when you think last year this time, Diamond DeShields was the alpha, and Alicia Gray had to step out of that shadow when Diamond transferred to Tennessee. And Alicia Gray has come up with some big action. 15 points today, and now Liberty forced to foul. And Brittany Roundtree, another player who has played with 4 fouls. This will be a 1-and-1. That's only the 8th team foul against Liberty here in the second half. A 3-possession game with 25.2 on the clock for a North Carolina team that barely survived and advanced a year ago in this building. Difference this year, Sylvia Hatchell back on the bench after her bout with leukemia. Was gone for the whole year. In fact, Christy, there had been hopes had they won the Elite 8 game at Stanford last year, she may have been able to sit on the bench at the Final Four in Nashville as Roundtree hits the first free throw. She was telling us yesterday how difficult it was to watch that first match and that win over UT Martin.
Well, this time last year she was at home completing her final treatment for the leukemia that kept her off the sidelines here in Carolina all last season.
Down 3 possessions, 3-pointer not made there. Liberty has struggled from 3-point land. Out of bounds to Liberty. They're 2 for 16 from 16 seconds on the clock. They need triples. They need them in a hurry. And there's the first. Down 6, 13.3.
With desperation right now as a quick foul occurs for Liberty.
12.4 on the clock, and Latifah Coleman will shoot 1-and-1. That's only the 9th team foul against Liberty in the half. So not done just yet here at Carmichael.
I just love the energy and leadership right now of Emily Frazier, who is a communicator for her team. You see her with the hand motions and letting her team know this is what we need to have done.
1 of 3 at the line. Front end, no good. But a huge offensive board, an even bigger putback by Gray, and a chance to finish off Liberty at the line.
And that's where you miss the presence of Jasmine Garner, who recently fouled out inside for Liberty. She had been controlling the boards, but Frazier too small to contest on the glass on that particular possession.
Liberty has controlled the boards all day, but couldn't get that one. As you said, didn't have the size down low. And there's a steal by Coleman. Might be a travel call, it is. But right to the very end, Latifah Coleman, the senior from South Carolina, has been really big in this game. If you're just joining us, she came in and really was big in the first half when Liberty got off to a good start.
And she has just been tremendous. And that was a terrific stop.
As for Reininger, second effort is good, but just academic at this point. 2.4 on the clock. And there's the inbound to Bryant. Don't have to shoot it. As the horn sounds and North Carolina advances to the round of 32.